Hello, everybody. I'm here with Gonzo. We're going to finish up his zombie game, but I'll let him take it and introduce what today's all about.
Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan Gonzalez, like Ken Trammell. He's my co-host, and today we're going to be finishing up this live stream series. We're going to try to keep it pretty simple by just going over a few pickups, and we're also going to be giving away a couple of asset packages. So we'll give that away at the end. I've already chosen a few winners. You have to be in the live stream to win, so if you're not in the live stream, then we're just going to go down the list until we find the next person available. So stick around if you want to have a chance to win those packages.
Sweet.
So Kent and I were talking about holidays, about Halloween specifically, how it's a mostly American holiday. And so I used to live overseas. I lived in Japan for a little bit. And over there, I know if anyone's ever been to Japan, you know they pick up some of our holidays and they add their own spin to it. So I know they've done that with Halloween. They've also done it with Christmas as well.
That just blows my mind because I remember earlier in the month I mentioned Halloween and somebody in the chat was like, "That's strictly an American thing," and for some reason that blew my mind. So I was talking to Gonzo about that, and I'm just so curious, like who in states like establishes like, okay, Halloween, we're adopting it now do what you want, because you say they add their own spin, and so they kind of like Christmas has nothing to do with their religion, and so. Mm-hmm. I guess they still give gifts and have a Christmas tree, but none of the other like connotations that come with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they have Christmas trees. I know they I think in Japan they like to celebrate a lot of holidays. I think they have more holidays in America. They have a bunch of weird holidays, but Christmas was always the one that like they like all the fun stuff of Christmas, like how kids love Christmas for gifts and stuff like that, but they don't have any of the religious connotations to it. So wow. They'll have like their own like Japanese Santa and stuff like that. And how I was explaining to Kent over there during Christmas time, KFC is super popular. So they have these like Christmas dinners that they have, and includes like cake, like a chocolate, like a full size chocolate cake. I think it includes wine, includes all these like really nice things. It's a really nice dinner from what I've seen, and you have to order it months in advance to get that. It's super popular. And I always thought that was like a really interesting thing, like KFC of all restaurants, that they would really want to eat during Christmas.
Because like chicken, that's not even the traditional holiday meal over here. It cracks me up.
Yeah, and that Of all the places, they pick a fast food chicken restaurant to celebrate Christmas for.
Oh, wow, that's funny. Well, thanks for being our cultural tour guide. So where all have you lived?
So I've lived in South Korea, Japan. Those are mostly the places I've lived overseas. I mean, I've been to Kuwait as well. That was a deployment. I've been to Philippines, and yeah, I think that's about it. Wow. So mostly Asia.
Right, okay. Do you have a favorite out of the places you've been?
Yeah, Japan.
Japan? Mm-hmm. What was it about Japan that you liked the most?
Well, I've always wanted to live there since I was a kid. So when I joined the military, that was like the base I wanted to go to. But it's just, I mean, everything that I wanted in Japan it happened there. Like, people are really nice. The culture is really amazing. Everything looks really nice down there. There's a lot of really really nice cultural sites down there. I mean, there's lots of really weird, interesting things that you can do down there. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the food too. I'm not really big into seafood, but there's a lot of Japanese food that I like as well. So
excellent, man. I kind of have a similar dream. I think I would at least love to visit Japan. I'm not a big traveler, but that for some reason they just seem like a fascinating people and culture.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
And now with the KFC, even more so. But anyway, all right, you can go on and get started in Unity, sir.
Okay, so we're going to get started in Unity. We're going to be going over a couple of things. Let me go and switch out real quick. Okay, so
I'm kind of sorry to interrupt you. Just wanted to say I'm trying to get in the habit to inform everybody. This time is for you to ask questions, so please do so if you have them, and I or Gonzo will be happy to answer, just as a preface.
Yeah, if you have any questions about anything we're doing in here or really anything related to this project, let us know. and I'll do my best to answer as best as possible. Okay, so where we left off in the last live stream, we went over basically adding in zombie characters that can take damage and die off whenever we shoot them. So I'll just kind of preview this real quick. So we have a couple of zombies, and I did include a running animation with them. They were a bit slower with the last animation that we used, which was walking. But here they're navigating around on their own, and they're trying to attack me. So if they get close enough, they're going to start hitting me. And you can kind of hear that he gets hurt. Now we did modify this a bit. You can see that his arms are now attached to the gun, or the minigun in this case. I can shoot them, blood spurts out. Then eventually they'll die. You can see they just fall to the ground. There we go. So we're going to be adding in a couple of pickups, one for ammo and one for health. And I also want to have some UI displayed on screen for both the health and the ammo. So it's going to be very simple. We're just going to have the ammo in the bottom right, and then the health, which is just going to be an icon in the bottom left. So we'll start off with that first. I do have the UI that I created. This was actually taken from a few icons, from flat icons. And we have this one right here, which is our health. I did separate these out because we're going to be using the fill value of this to represent how much health we have. And this is just an icon to let us know that this is the, we're going to have a numerical value next to this, which is going to denote how much ammo we have for our minigun. So I'm going to start off by slicing this up. So when we import a texture like this, we want to select Sprite 2D and UI. And this is going to be a sprite mode of multiple. We have multiple sprites in here, so let's make sure that we select that. And then I'll click on apply and then go into the sprite editor. Okay, so I did pre-slice these out before, but if I left click and drag out a box, I can create a new selection for that. So there is that selection. I'm just going to delete this one. So I already pre-sliced these out, and I just dragged the box over each one of them. So now we have 3 different sprites, and once you're done with that, you can click on apply, and then it'll save out 3 different sprites for us. Okay, so if I open this up now, we now have the 3 sprites there. Alright, so I'll start off by creating the UI. Go to Game Object UI, and then I'm going to start off with an image. Let me go and zoom out here. Okay, so this is going to be our health. I'll just rename this to health icon. And I'll just manually move this into position. And then we're going to have a child health icon as well, which is actually going to be the cross, which is going to be our fill type. So I'll duplicate that and drag it underneath as a child. I'm going to assign the images for both of these. So the first one is going to be, actually the second one, actually this doesn't really matter. So the first one, I'll just use the background. So if I turn this off, you could see that image. And I want to make sure that the image size matches up what we have for the width and height. So this is 141 by 145. Okay, for the second one, that's going to be our, I'll just rename this to health. And that's going to be our cross. Okay, and this one is 141 by 100. Now just center this up. Typically, if I have something that needs to be perfectly lined up like this, I would have both these images at the same size. That way I can just select the second image and then use my Rect Transform Anchor presets up here and just automatically center it to its parent, which in this case is the background. But in this case, I can just manually do that myself. So if I switch to the game view, it's down here in the corner. Let's go ahead and move that. It looks like it's out of bounds now. And I believe I might be looking at this from the opposite side. So I'll move this over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So it's a little bit too big for us, so I'm just going to rescale this down to say 0.5. And I'm going to change my aspect ratio to 1920 by 1080. It does adjust the size and the look of the UI. So you want to make sure that if you are working with UI, that you make sure that you look at it with the correct aspect ratio that you're going to be working with. I'm going to set the anchor point to the bottom left. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if the size of the canvas changes, it's going to use that anchor point as its reference of where that image needs to be. So if it's in the center, it's going to be using the center as its reference point. Hence why it moved up when I did change the aspect ratio. Okay, let's take a look at this in the game view. It might be a little bit too small, so I'll just set this back up to 1.
Hey Gonzo, a question for you, a little bit like a general question for Unity. Omar's asking, like Blender in Unity, is it a benefit of having an ultra high-end mega super graphics card? Real-time rendering moves faster with one of those, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what type of game you're working on. I know with like the Atom, was the movie, I think they were using really high-end graphics cards and stuff like that. But if you're not building anything like that, like right now I'm using a GTX 970. It's probably more than enough for something like this, but it really depends on what you're building. If you're doing a lot of real-time stuff that's high-end, then yeah, it's going to be just like Blender. You need a high-end graphics card.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, if you're doing super high-res real-time global illumination cycles rendering, you would need an amazing graphics card in Blender, and similar idea for Unity. But if you're making like a simple game like you're doing right now, much more stylized, then graphics card's probably not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, so for the health cross, I am going to be using the fill type for this. I'm going to be modifying this through script. So on the image, we have a image type of simple. I can set this to filled, and we can set the fill method. So I'll set this to vertical, and we have the fill amount right here. We're going to be modifying this through script. So if we take a look at this real close, if I adjust this, you can see how it goes down. So as we start taking damage, this is going to start going down. Same thing if we pick up health, it's going to go up. So once again, we're going to be adjusting this through script, but we're done with that health icon. I'm going to add in my ammo icon now. I'm just going to duplicate this group and drag it across. Then I'll just rename this to ammo. And then I believe it's this one for the ammo icon. And once again, let's make sure that we adjust the width height. So that's 138 by 134. Let me take a look at the game view. I think that looks good right there. We're going to have the bullets, or the numerical value for the bullets right here. So that's going to be text. I'm not going to be using the health, obviously. So I'm going to right click on this, go to UI, and then text. And we can barely see the text right here. I'm going to make it the same height as the icon. And for this, I'm going to be using a new font called Bebas Kai. So I'm going to replace the font that's in here. Okay, I'm going to center this up. And I'll just type in some filler text, which in this case, we'll start off with 1,000 bullets. So I'll type in 1,000 to make sure it looks good. And then I'll increase the font size. Okay, so 110 should be good. I'm going to make this white. I'll switch to my game view. Okay, that's a little bit too big, but in this case, I'll keep it the way it is. As we expand this, it'll look a little bit better. So that is going to be our numerical value. We are going to be adjusting that through script as well. So as we start shooting, this number is going to dictate how much ammo we actually have. So that's all we need for our UI. I'll just rename this to ammo value. Okay, so we are going to be modifying some of this stuff through script. Let's go and take a look at the pickups that we're going to be using. So I'll start off with the ammo first. I'll jump into my scene real quick. Now for the ammo, I'm going to drag in a prefab. So here we have an ammo box. I have a basic collider on the box itself so we don't run into it or go through it. And then we also have a trigger on the outside. So if we take a look at this, we have the ammo trigger, which is just a, basically I use a regular cube. I just increase the size of that cube to match the trigger zone for this ammo. So whenever we walk into this trigger zone, we can then tell it to give us ammo. So I just remove the mesh render or turned it off, and I set this box collider to is trigger. So whenever we're within this trigger, we want to be able to collect ammo, and then we want to have a cooldown period for when we can collect ammo again. Now you could have it also set up if you had smaller ammo pouches or something of that sort, where you collect them and then it goes away or destroys itself. But in this case, this will be a stationary ammo box that we can then continuously come back to and collect ammo. So let's take a look at these script aspects for this. Okay, so this is our ammo pickup script. We're going to be placing this on that prefab that we just saw. So at the very top, we have a public integer called ammo supply. This is how much ammo we can give our player. So we're going to be manually adjusting this from our script. We have a replenish timer. So when we pick up ammo, we want to have basically a cooldown period where we are going to be starting a timer. And then once that timer is done, we can then collect ammo again. We don't want to continuously keep collecting ammo over and over again if we're within that trigger zone. So we're going to be using that timer with a bool called has ammo. So once we first collect ammo, we're going to be setting this to false, and then we're going to start the timer. We have an audio source, which will play an audio clip of us collecting ammo, a kind of like an audio reference letting us know that we have collected ammo. Then we have a private integer called ammo replenish. When we collect ammo, we need a way to be able to determine how much ammo we're going to be replenishing, and we're going to do that using our ammo replenish. So this is kind of like a temporary variable, and we're going to be using that to let us know how much ammo we can replenish our ammo supply pickup with. Okay, so we're going to grab our audio source component once again, and here we're setting ammo replenish to whatever we set ammo supply to. So in this case, ammo supply could be, say, 250, and we're going to set that ammo replenish equal to 250. We're going to be using an on trigger enter. So this will be used with our trigger. We're going to check to see if the object that entered our trigger zone has a collider with a tag of player. If so, we also want to check to see if has ammo is also true. So if both of those have been met, we're then going to be doing all this down below. So we're going to play an audio clip. We're just going to be playing one audio clip, so we'll have the audio clip applied to the audio source. We're then going to grab the minigun script. So we're going to say minigun weapon, and we're basically storing this within a temporary variable or a local variable called weapon. We're saying call.gameObject.getComponent in children, and the reason why we're using getComponent in children is because the minigun is a child of the character. So the character that has the collider doesn't have the minigun script. So we need to specify that we want to look for that component in the child. We have weapon.ammo, and we're going to be going over this in a moment. So this is going to be in conjunction with a different script, which is our minigun. We have to take a look at that in a moment. So weapon.ammo, and then we're going to add whatever we have for ammo supply. We're then going to be calling a method within that minigun script, which is just going to update our ammo count information. So it's going to update our UI for how much ammo we have. We're going to be setting has ammo to false because we don't want to be able to collect ammo again right after that. And then we're going to start a coroutine down below called ammo supply retimer, or ammo resupply timer. Okay, so right when we start this coroutine, we're going to wait a few seconds based off the replenish timer that we set up above. After that, we're going to be resetting our ammo supply equal to whatever we had for our ammo replenish. So in this case, this will be, say, 250. Whatever we started off with in ammo supply, we're essentially going to be resetting that back to what it was. We have has ammo set to true now, so we can restart this process all over again. Let's take a look at the minigun script real quick. We do need to modify it because we want to include ammo this time. So I do have that opened up already. We're going to be using UI within a script. So at the very top, we included a namespace, UniEngine.ui. We have a couple of new variables in here. One for the amount of ammo that we have within our weapon, and then we have the ammo text, which is the UI that's going to display how much ammo we have. We need to get our ammo text components. So ammo text equals ammo text.getComponent text. And then if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, in our apply damage script, this is where I'm going to be deducting the ammo. I could also do this within the fire method up above, but this is going to happen a lot quicker than in our apply damage method. So this is based off a specific time. So that's what I want to do. I want to decrease the ammo every time this happens. So we're decreasing it by 1. And then we're going to call a method called ammo count, which is just going to update the UI information. Okay, so if we scroll down further, all our method does is update our ammo text. Now I set this to public because we are going to be using this within our ammo pickup script. So ammo text.text equals ammo.toString. We're using toString because ammo is an integer value. So in order to use it as a string or a sentence in this case, we need to convert it to a string. So we're using ammo.toString. So I'll go ahead and save that out. Let's go and take a look at our ammo script once again. So there we go. You can see now it shows up just fine. So weapon ammo.ammo or weapon.ammo plus equals ammo supply, and then we're updating our UI information with weapon.ammo count. Okay, let's go and save that out for now, and I'll take a look at the pickup now. So we're looking for a tag of player. If we take a look at the hero character, we have a tag of player, and we do have the collider applied right here. If you have a collider on, say, a different part of the body where you want to detect that, you want to make sure that you have that tag of player on that game object that has that collider. Let's apply our script to our ammo trigger. So ammo supply, we'll set this to 250. And then the replenish timer, for demonstration purposes, we'll keep this kind of low. We'll go with 5 seconds. Has ammo, we'll check this on by default. So it's going to start off having ammo. And I'm going to turn off the zombies for now, just so we can hear this a little bit more clearly. And we also need to include a audio source, so I'll add that in here as well. I'm going to turn off play on awake, and I need to assign the audio clip. So the audio clip is kind of like an audio clip of someone picking up bullet shells. So this is the audio clip. Okay, so every time we are in that trigger zone and we can actually pick up ammo, we're going to have this audio clip playing. So let's give this a quick test. Okay, and I forgot to add a few things to my script. There we go. We hear the audio for the trigger. Now the reason why this is playing automatically is because I forgot to attach the text to the minigun. So we need to assign the ammo text as well from our UI. I'll just rename this to UI right now. Okay, so everything is assigned now. We can clear out all this right here. Let's give this a quick test again. Okay, so we're starting off with 1,000 bullets. And you can see it did update, but it did update incorrectly. So we need to modify that. So what I can do is go back into the script. And let's take a look at the minigun script. Right from the very start, we have the ammo text. We can set that up right now. So we can set the ammo text equal to whatever our ammo is right from the start. So say ammo text.text equals, and this will be the ammo.toString. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I need to add in ammo as well. There we go. Okay, so we have collected ammo. If I try to go in here again, I have to wait 5 seconds. And there we go. We added more ammo. Okay, so let's give this a try with the health now. For the health, I didn't have like a health kit prop or anything of that sort. So I'm just using a bunch of like little beer cans as a representative of like health. In games where you pick up like food and things of that sort, that would work fine. So I have a prefab of that already set up. So we have the health pickup. So it's basically just a bunch of little cans like this with a trigger already set up. I'm going to add in a light, because in our current scene, if we take a look at this, it's very hard to actually see what that is. It just kind of looks like debris or some sort of trash. So I'm going to add in a point light, which is going to show up as green, letting us know that this is something that we can actually pick up. So I'm going to right click on it, go down to light, point light, and I can just leave it as point light. And I'll increase the intensity of this. I'll make it a greenish color. Yeah, I think that works fine right there. It's easy to spot. Okay, so for our health pickup, whenever we collect this, we're then going to destroy it. But we want to check to see if we have less than 100 health. We also want to check to see if we have more than 100 health. Basically, we don't want to go above 100. So if we're at full health, we can't pick up this health pickup. If we're below 100, then we can. So let's take a look at the scripting for this. Okay, so at the very top, we have our health amount, kind of similar to how we had our ammo pickup. We have a float, because we're using float for our health. So public float health amount. And we could just start this off with, say, 30. And then we have an audio source, once again, to play an audio clip. So in the start method, we grab that audio source component. And we're once again using a on trigger enter. Okay, so we're checking to see if whatever went within our trigger is a tag of player. So if col.compare tag player, then we're going to grab the component of player health. So player health, and we're storing it within player health, lowercase p. And we're checking to see if our health, first off, is less than 100. So if it is less than 100, then we can actually pick up our health and add health to our current health for our player. We're going to play an audio clip. It's going to be a clip of kind of like a slurping sound or a drinking sound. We're then going to add health based off our health amount. So player health.health, we're going to add whatever we have set up above for our health amounts, which in this case is going to be 30. And then once again, we're going to be updating our health similarly to how we updated our ammo within our UI. So it's showing up red because we have to modify another script, which is our player health script. And then after about 0.15 seconds, we're going to destroy this game object. It's not going to allow us to basically reuse it over and over again, similar to our ammo. Instead, we're just going to have this as a single-use object. So I'm setting this to 0.15 because if we have this destroyed instantly, it's not going to give us enough time to play our audio. So I'm giving it a very slight delay, and then we can actually hear our audio and then finally destroy this game object. Now, if none of this is true, let's say we do have a tag of player that enters that area, but we don't have less than 100 health, then we're just going to say, hey, our health is full, and this will show up in the console. Now, we could also play an audio clip, something similar to kind of being denied that we can't actually pick up that health, but in this case, I just wanted to use something simple within a console. So let's take a look at the player health. This is different than the health applied to the zombie. I did modify this because I want to include a few different things for the player. So we have the same health as before, but this is a float. We're going to be using an image, which we've already set up within our UI. And since we're using UI, we need to make sure that we include the namespace at the very top. Now we have a bool that says is dead. We're setting that to false to start. Obviously, if we die, we're going to be setting that to true. We have a couple of audio clips which will be played to either hurt the character, like if we're getting hurt, we're going to be playing an audio clip for that, or if we die, we're going to be playing the death clip. Then we have the audio source and the animator, just like before. And then once again, we have our on-death Unity event. Now we need to grab our image component, which is actually going to be our fillable type. That's going to be our cross. So health image equals health image.get component image. Update health is going to update the UI. Now within here, we're doing something slightly different. We're checking to see if the damage amount minus our health is going to be less than or equal to 0. If so, then we know that we're going to die. So we're going to be setting this to true. We're going to invoke our on-death events. We're going to be playing our audio clip of him dying and also the animation clip as well. So death_T is the animation clip to start the trigger for that animation state. Now, if we're not going to die, then we're just going to deduct damage. We're going to play our hurt audio clip, and then we're going to call the update health method. Now, all this is going to do is update our UI elements. So this section right here updates our fill amounts. So health image.fill amount equals health over 100. Now we're using over 100 because this gives us a value to basically determine how much it can fill up and how much it can go down. So health is going to start off at 100 over 100. So it's actually going to be a value of 1 on that slider bar. Now right above that, this is where we're checking to see if the health that we have is going to be greater than 100. So let's say we do have a health of 90 and we pick up this health pickup, which gives us 30 health. Well, obviously it's going to go above 100 and we don't want that to happen. So if our health is greater than 100, we'll just reset it back down to 100. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that out. Let's apply that to our health pickup. Okay, the health amount has already been set up to 30. I'm going to turn on my zombies now. And I'm also going to select my hero character. And we should see the health drop down a bit. Oh, I also forgot. I need to go back to my hero character and add in the image for the health. And we'll take a look at the health as well as it goes down. So this is the fill amount that I'm talking about. That's going to go in and out. So if we're taking damage, it's going to go down. If we collect our health pickup, it's going to go up based off the value that we have set up. We'll turn on the zombies. We go and select my hero character. I'll just lock this panel for now so we can see it show up. Okay, so you can see my health is going down in the bottom left. Right now, I'm at 60 health. I'm going to try to get away from these guys as best as possible. Oh, and I forgot to add the audio source. Okay, it's going to do that now. So this is why it's important to have that required component. It automatically assigns the audio source for us. So in my case, I didn't include that, so I just need to add that in myself. And I need to add in the audio clip. Let's see the audio. And I'm just going to set this up as a 2D audio clip. So instead of having it 3D, I'll set this down to 2D. This will make it easier for us to hear this. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to unlock this. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so now we have an audio source. We have the audio clip assigned. I unchecked play on awake. So we can clear out that error. I'll pull up the console as well so we can see this. Okay, so I took some damage. Okay, there we go. And you can see it did disappear from the inspector off on the side there because we did destroy it. And now my health is at 100. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, so my health is at 100. So we're good to go with the health pickup. Now let's see if we can pick up some more ammo so I can start shooting. Pick up some ammo. There we go. Now let's see if I die. There we go. I'm dead. Okay, so now we have an ammo pickup and a health pickup. Now you could have these stored throughout the entire environment here. I just have one of each. You could also use this with different types of props. The props are just there for like visual aspects. And then for the ammo, that's one way of kind of having some sort of ammo pickup or some sort of pickup that replenishes itself over time. So if you had, say, a specific weapon that needs to be charged up, you could go to one of these pickups and then charge up your weapon. Then you would have a cooldown. Then you can recharge it after that cooldown is down once again. So I think we're just about done with our pickups. I do want to go over the raffle. So we're going to go over that now. If you guys have any questions about anything that was covered so far, let me know.
Haven't seen any Unity-based questions yet, but we have been talking about scripting, and we have Mikal in the chat who has tried C# scripting and did not go over terribly well. So she's probably not interested in Unity scripting anytime soon. But
so I guess my question to her is if it would, what was the biggest obstacle in learning C#? Because I've seen that come up a lot lately, and I'm just kind of trying to understand, because some people are trying to learn more visual scripting, which is fine, but it's usually because they have a hard time picking up C#. So I guess I want to know what's the biggest obstacle for that.
Right. I asked her about it, and she said that she said it was a time during unemployment where she was encouraged to learn it for career reasons. So maybe more not out of desire to learn it, but more out of necessity, perhaps. Right. So that could have been part of it.
Yeah.
But so what is visual scripting? Is that like connecting like nodes together?
Yeah, basically that's what it is. So
okay.
Like the only visual scripting that I'm really familiar with is Playmaker, and they usually have like different nodes that do, it's basically like scripts that are pre-made, but they're in node format. So you can say, okay, when you enter this trigger, connect this and do this, or do that event, right. Stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I don't really like visual scripting because it's very, for me, it seems very limiting. You know, you have a lot more control, and you can program stuff and you can customize stuff to your liking.
Right. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, we've had a Blender question pop up, so nothing particularly involved with the game. So at this point, have you kind of reached what you had wanted to do for the stream?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Does that mean the game's basically finished?
Yeah, I mean, for this live stream series, yeah.
Okay, excellent, dude. So can you play it for us a little bit?
Yeah. So these guys are running towards me, and the zombie characters actually have two different animations playing. Using a similar technique as the player, you'll notice that their upper body is using that walking forward animation, but the lower body is using the running animation.
Oh, wow. That's a nice touch.
Now, I could also set this up so that they don't have to stop to attack me. I could have it set up so they keep running so that when they're within range, they could just automatically play the upper body slashing animation, but I didn't think to do that.
Right.
I can still shoot these guys, and for every hit of the minigun, it takes away, I think, like 5 damage.
Gotcha.
But this is something that you can modify to reduce damage, or you can have it increase damage based on what you set up in the script.
Oh, yeah. Nice. And so, if you were to finish this off and like, I guess, quote unquote, ship it, would you set up kind of like an unlimited time to where like as many enemies as you can kill before dying? That's like how the game ends, is when you die.
Yeah, you could set it up that way. I mean, I don't know how long that game would last. My idea for a game like this would be to have an open world where you have to go to different parts of the city, and then you have to do, I don't know, specific missions or whatever, and have all these zombies just appear from different parts of the city.
Right. Ted said in the chat that the stop to swing is a nice mechanic for the player, so they can get away a little easier.
Yeah. I mean, having the attacking while they're running would make it a lot more difficult, because you wouldn't be able to. If you get backed up into a corner, you're pretty much screwed.
Right. I suppose that if you made it in waves to where like you have one wave that's easy, the next wave is a little harder, maybe more enemies, you could also, for some of those more advanced enemies, they could continue running while swinging, just to like increase difficulty.
Yeah. I've also modified the character. I don't know if I explained this at the top of the live stream, but the character, his hands are now attached to the weapon.
Oh, cool! Like with that IK thing.
So I have like a couple of handles. Let me go and pause this and show you what I have. So on the character, I just use a couple of spheres. I'm going to turn these on. So there's a sphere for the right hand, and there's also one for the left hand. So if I just kind of move these up and go through one frame, you can see that his arms now adjust to that position. So this just makes it so his hands are basically pinned to the weapon. So as he's moving around, if I didn't have these in here, his body would basically be like swinging back and forth, while the weapon would actually stay in place. And it kind of bothered me, so I want to use the handles for the actual weapon.
Gotcha. Nice. That's a good touch too.
Yeah. Little details like that can really make your game shine.
Right. Man, as we've been working on our own games, one of my favorite parts is trying to figure out gameplay and how to tweak some of these parameters that we've talked about, like the waves of enemies, or do they swing when they move, or do they stop to hit you? Yeah. Those are so much fun, and like kind of limitless creativity that you can put into that for fine-tuning gameplay, which I didn't expect. I mean, it makes sense now, but that was an unexpected fun part of the process.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we got about 17 minutes, I suppose, till we were about to... Wait, is that right? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when did you want to do the raffle, or announce the winners, rather?
We can do that now.
Okay. So we'll have to be a little creative. Well, he gave me a list of the people. Gonzo gave me a list before he started of people who RSVP'd to the live stream, and only one of those people seems to actually be here watching it. So, or at least that have commented in the thread. That's the only way I can really tell if you're here or not. So, again, I mentioned it in the chat already earlier, but if you are here, if you can just say hello, post a comment, then I'll check your name against the list. Otherwise, we'll give the first one out to the one person who is here, RSVP'd, and has commented. And then they will have to kind of randomly select the second person.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But while we maybe wait for okay, we got one. M. Leonard, I've seen him before. Or her, sorry. But do you want to go ahead and do the first one for who was in the list that you gave me?
Yeah, so the first package, for those of you who don't know, the first package is going to be this city that we see here. It's the Simple Apocalypse. And another big thank you to Synty Studios, which is the developer. They actually created these packages that we're going to be giving away. They want to give us a couple of vouchers for this live stream. So this is going to be one of them, which is this bigger package here. The other asset package is going to be something very similar, but it's just the interiors of the buildings.
Oh, cool.
So the first one is going to be this Simple Apocalypse.
Excellent. Awesome, dude. Well, we can go ahead and do the first one, and that is the username Losty, which is the name. He has his actual name. He said at the beginning. It's Henry Koskinen, I believe, or Henri. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but you RSVP'd, you were on the list, and you commented. So you get the first one.
All right, great. So I'll be sending a email to to each of the winners on how to use the voucher codes. You need a Unity account. Obviously, this is a Unity package. You need a free Unity account, and then you can use it on the asset store. So I'll give you all the details and instructions on how to do that in the email. So congratulations.
Awesome. That's kind of exciting. All right, now we got to get creative with the second one.
Wow.
And I'm not really exactly sure how to do it. I almost want to say like first person to say winner gets it or something, but
well, why don't we I'll guess a number, and then that'll be, I don't know, you can pick someone based off that number.
Oh yeah, totally. So 1 through, looks like we've got 8 people watching, so maybe 1 through how are we gonna do that? How about 1 through 100, and then they comment a number, and whoever's closest. Does that work?
Yeah, that'll work. Okay,
so in the chat, 1 through 100, pick a number in between there. And Gonzo, do you have the number in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, and then if it's closest to that number, you get the second package.
All right, just let me know.
Cool. And Mikhail, to answer your question, it hasn't been a competition as much as a giveaway. Gonzo contacted, because when it comes to making games, like if you don't have the assets already built, like it's pretty hard to build the game. So he reached out to the creator of an asset package, and they offered to do a giveaway for whoever was watching. So it's not a competition, but a giveaway. And yeah, we'll certainly try and do more of those. Ooh, sweet. We got some numbers coming in. Let's see. We've got 23 from Mikhail. We've got 95 from M. Leonard, and 33 from Darren McBain, and 78 from Ted.
Wow.
Ted Milker.
So,
and let's see. Should we wait a little while longer, see if anyone else posts comments, post numbers?
Yeah. I'll wait another minute. I'm pretty sure someone already won, though.
Yeah.
Pretty much on the dot.
We'll wait 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to just post a comment in case someone didn't hear me already say that. But
now, if any of you guys would be interested in more giveaways like this, let me know. I would like to have more stuff like this, so I could definitely reach out to a few other asset creators, whether that's on the Unity Asset Store or even on the Blender Market. I've been interested in using some assets from the Blender Market as well.
Mikhail really wants this. She's got 2 votes already.
Well, someone already pretty much hit it right on the dot, so I was surprised.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to have to take it, I suppose. Who did that?
It was 78.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, Mikhail. Crap, better luck next time. But Ted, man, psychic with the 78 bullseye.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Well done. And I hope that's your name, Ted Milker. That's kind of what I gleaned from your username. But you, sir, get that second package, so congrats.
Awesome.
And so we have a comment from Darren. It's impressive what can be done over the course of only a few streams to get a fleshed out game. So thank you all. It's been really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. I've been pretty impressed by it.
Yeah, if you guys like to see more stuff like this, let me know. I mean, it is quite difficult. Obviously, building a game is not easy, but I would consider this a nice, fun little project to show you guys that the process that I use to actually build out like a prototype for something like this.
Man, I wonder if we could do this again, like the whole giveaway thing. It seems to be people are excited about it. So, if we need the assets anyway, or I think we offer some of our, like the Port Lithium assets somewhere. Maybe we'll build some assets and then give those away too.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be sweet. Awesome. Well, cool. If there are any last minute questions, or how about this? How about, does anyone have any suggestions for like, I don't know how wide open to make this, but like what other kind of things you'd like to see for the Unity stream? I know Gonzo's had the idea to do sort of game reviews where he looks at a Unity game that's been made, because Unity's used all the time for, especially for mobile platform. So like look at that game, talk about it, and then look at also the technical aspect and how it was created from a developer standpoint. I thought that was a pretty cool genre, but besides that, other projects that you'd like to see, maybe game genres for him to explore similarly to this top-down shooter. But yeah, for the last few minutes, if you just want to throw out suggestions, we'd love to field them and really do what you guys want to see. Giveaways are always fun, especially if you win. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Mikhail says game reviews would be nice. So there's a vote for that.
I think there have also been requests for using the Cinemachine tools and the timeline. So that's something that I've been looking at for the next live stream series.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, a cool suggestion from Darren, possibly get the community involved, see if people would like build some assets over a theme. Might be a nice cross between Blender and Unity. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe that can be like a competition 1 month, and then you like review the assets or critique them, or we do as a team and announce the winner or something.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be really cool.
Community stuff is something we've been trying to incorporate more into the stuff that we build. Yes,
absolutely. It's been a suggestion for a while. It seems to get hung up on like how do we actually do it? Like if the practical things, like will it technically work with the game, or will that create more work? Or anyway, we got to figure out a way to do it. But it would be super cool to get the community involved that way for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't see any more comments yet, so maybe we can wrap it up in a few minutes early. But let's see. Do you have any ideas for what you want to do next for the Unity stream? I know you said maybe you'd take a few weeks off after this one.
So I'm going to be taking a few weeks off. I'm working on the shader course. I'm rebuilding the shader. I'm trying to make it into a much bigger course for shaders to just go over different examples. But after that, I'll probably, whatever you guys want. I'm looking at like I said, the Cinemachine tools and the timeline. So I'll probably go over a live stream series where I create a few different things, maybe like a cutscene where you actually, enter a specific room and then a cutscene starts, or even using the tools to create some sort of trailer. So I'll have to play around with the tools and see what would be ideal for that. But if you guys have any ideas on what you guys would be most interested in next, let me know.
Excellent. Yeah. A last minute question from Mikhail. Is Unity suitable only for first person shooter?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's...
You can use Unity for almost anything. If you take a look at the Made with Unity website, I forget the actual link, but there's a bunch of different games. Like Cuphead was a very popular game that was made with Unity. You have Hearthstone that was created with Unity. You have Superhot that was created with Unity. That's more of a traditional first-person shooter, but that's like a VR game. There's a bunch of games that were made with Unity. Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm trying to pick like games that are uniquely different, but those are all created with Unity.
Yeah, Darren mentioned a few of those as well that you said. So we have a suggestion from Sabi404. Lighting a complete scene with reflections would be good. And yeah, I think I kind of agree with him to see maybe how to harness some of the lighting things. Like you can add reflection probes and maybe get some more PBR, realism kind of things going on. I would be curious about that as well.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I know there's been requests for more like architecture type stuff. So we can include that. We could focus on like the realism for lighting for those types of environments.
Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. Maybe I'll create the asset for you and we'll give it away.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions. So if you want to wrap it up, I think we probably could.
Yeah, so I'll be reaching out to those who want those asset packages. So look out for emails from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream series. If you have any questions, just let me know in the community, or even, I don't know if there's comments on the live streams that we archive, but just let me know and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's been great having you join us for this live stream.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you later. And from your end, you can stop.